putting technology in real estate as far as I'm concerned. And then we've seen the rise of technology and AI coming into play. What do you think are the possibilities in the real estate space that we should be looking forward to? Maybe things that we've never heard before, maybe experience. It might be things that we've even heard. It's just that once you add technology and AI to it, there's just a bit of tweak that makes the space more interesting and attractive for people.
All right, so access will be a lot easier with PropTech, access to either, so you'll be able to fund housing projects. You'll also be able to sell or lease houses. These are things that are already available in the, in diaspora, in the US, in Canada, in Australia, right? So there's nothing really new. It's just that we are just we've been doing it traditionally, we've been doing it manually, but now you want to have it on a single platform, right? Even to the extent of even procurement, right? You are a developer and you want to source for materials to build so there are platforms now where you can actually source for building materials online, right? All of that just an ecosystem that you are trying to create, and then the same ecosystem can also facilitate the sales, can facilitate the supply, can facilitate the demand end of the spectrum, and can also facilitate the supply end of the spectrum. So essentially that's what PropTech is about. Really, it's just a fanciful word that's just to democratize access across the entire spectrum.
Fantastic. I like that. I like how you brought about the single platform that can harness both demand and supply. So it's more like you are matching for those who are, looking for good prices, large quantities, get it like one-stop shop for everything that you need when it comes to real estate and everything that pertains to real estate. Very interesting. Though I've not seen that one-stop shop, maybe it's an idea that.
Somebody can come up with that. Yeah, somebody can come up with that. At the moment, you have some people only focus on the demand end of the spectrum. Some people focus on the supply end, and perhaps you may be the next person that will come and bring everything together. So who knows?
It sounded very exciting to me. In my head, I was thinking about it like, oh, yeah, this sounds very, very nice and very, very creative. And they just gonna sign up with Redder and, just do some sponsored ads and videos here and there, just to get a few sites and get testimonials. I think it's a very fantastic business idea that anyone who is first to market would really enjoy the first move advantage. Very interesting. I like that. So what comes to mind right now is, so I'm thinking, so people are saying, oh, I missed out on Lekki, most likely I'm going to miss out on Ekpe. What are the new cities that I imagine? Because I know that I've heard you talk about if your descendants, if your ancestors failed you by not buying Morocco when it was Morocco and now they cannot afford Lekki, don't fail your own descendants by not being able to afford the new cities that are springing up. So what are these? Can you tell us some of these new cities that are springing up, whether in Nigeria or any other African parts, that those in diaspora and those in Nigeria can start taking advantage of as they plan their.
So most likely our audience will be Nigerians in Nigeria or Nigerians in diaspora. So I will focus more on Nigeria. And I will use Lagos as a case study. Lagos is the smallest state in Nigeria in terms of land mass, but it's the most populous state in Nigeria. Every Nigerian is a Lagosian, or every Nigerian is supposed to be a Lagosian. So that's why it's regarded as commercial capital city or capital of Nigeria. 500 people visit Lagos every 1 hour and they never return. So it's that's an average of 5,000 people every single day that visit Lagos. Lagos is the abroad that most other parts of Nigeria No. Okay. When you grow up in the village and you hear that somebody's come from Lagos, you see them differently. And then when you hear that somebody has gone to Lagos, it's like, whoa, they have gone to make money, they have gone to be rich or stuff like that. Um, so Lagos is that, and 40% of the economy of West Africa is in Lagos. 60% of the economy of Nigeria is in Lagos. And so the states that share boundary with Lagos have enormous opportunity, in the sense that because of the small landmass, the spillover population will be to those cities. And so any smart investor should be looking at those city within the corridor that share boundary. One of the fundamentals we typically share, is that any place that is within 30 minutes to 60 minutes drive away from city center, right, is a potential city, whether it is within that same place, within that same city, or even outside the city. So there are many parts of Ogun State that are just 30 to 60 minutes drive away from city center in Lagos. And that already speaks a lot of volume. Now, landed properties are still way cheaper in most of these places. And unfortunately, eyes that look are many, eyes that see are very few. So some people's eyes only recognize problems. They don't realize that problems, opportunities always come in overall. And those are where, there's a place called New York, in the United States, right? There's another place called New Jersey, right? So New Jersey, Newark, all of those places. So New Jersey or Newark is just like, is like Arekpo to Lagos, Arekpo to Obafemi Owode to um, to Ikeja. Are you get what I'm talking about? And when the opportunity to buy in those places present themselves, people ignore it because they feel it's far away. If you recall, some of the things I said, in terms of the key drivers of value, all of course there are some governments, state governments, that are more responsible than other state governments, right? Some are just basically relying on federal allocation. They're not thinking of what they can do to unlock the potential of their states now, but we seem to be having some more responsive and responsible state governments now. So a lot is being done. Some are looking to get more investors to come into their states, and they are providing all the support and all of that. So you want to begin to position ahead of that. You can decide to, so places like, I'm careful not to just mention places, but if you reach out to us, we can tell you, because those are the things that inform. When I say I'm careful, not that I'm afraid. I'm just saying, by the time you may be watching this video, the opportunity may have not just been scarce, but it may have exploded, or may have risen so significantly in value. So you want to pay attention to anywhere within the Lagos corridor. You recall, for those who know, the Living Faith Church, right? The church organization was the first to build the largest single auditorium in the world, 1999, and their movement to that territory changed the trajectory of Otta. And today, we don't even say Otta Ogun State, it's Otta Africa. It's Otta Africa, and a lot of monumental projects that is evolving. Houses grow there like trees. It's a complete country on its own, complete. There's no way you get to that territory and you'll not be in awe. You'll not be in awe. Some of the things that even state government are not daring themselves are the things that have been dared there. So when you see things like that, they are pointers to what is coming. Or the best thing and the smartest thing you can do is to position around things like that. So So anywhere that is within 30 minutes to 60 minutes drive from city center or potential city, that's just the major criteria I can give you. If you reach out to us, we tell you the ones that are within those territories at the point you reach out. I think that's what I'm just going to say for now.
Thank you for those pointers. So if you are interested, fractional ownership, land banking, estate planning, you want to buy a house, you want to buy land in Nigeria, in other countries, I can assure you that just reach out. Every detail that you need will be in the description. There will be numbers that you can reach out to as well. Do well to reach out with all of your concerns and it will be addressed. Don't play with fractional ownership. 1% of 1 billion is better than 100% of 100,000 naira. So please take advantage of it. Okay, I don't know if there are any interesting trends maybe that you're seeing that are springing up in the real estate space that is not really popular now that you think people can, take advantage of. I know that fractional ownership is one thing that hasn't really been so prolific that people know about, and now people are getting to understand. Okay, fractional ownership, 10 of us can own one apartment. Is there anything new? I know you mentioned one that I've never really heard about, apart hotel, something like that. Yes, I don't know if there are other new ones that's bringing up that people can begin to look at as they start their real estate journey as an investor or a developer or as a realtor, whichever.
Well, I mean, many of these are not really new trends. It's just been propagated more with media, right? All the things, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Everything, tech, for example, is an enabler. It's not, doesn't change, and it's just an enabler. So it can enable something that is working well. It can also enable something that can create crisis. So it's a it's two side of it's a double-edged sword, so to speak. So nothing really is new, and you can take a cue for those of us who travel around the world. You see a lot of things that can be replicated. That it will still take time before people buy into it. From the developer standpoint, there are cheaper ways to build houses, but you just need to build them in volume. People now build, they assemble houses now, right? And that's a very important technology if you want to build a lot of houses within a very short time and get it done excellently. All of that is already coming in. The issue of the apart hotel is essentially an apartment with hotel feel, right? Or hotel with an apartment feel, that kind of a thing. So there's practically nothing really new. But the key thing that I would say that is becoming a trend, and that everyone who is playing, it's just unfortunate that the people who want to damage the industry are leveraging it, is the issue of of digital media, right? And a lot of us who are in the industry need to begin to educate, the market even more, right? We need to begin to educate the market even more on using the leveraging social media, right? And that's pretty much part of the reasons why we too are doing something like this, so that people can really be thoroughly educated and not be misled or follow. Because I mean, if you so media is the main trend. So every real estate developer, every realtor has to become a media personality of some sort to play, to function and to succeed in that space. If you ignore media, right, you do so at your own peril, right? So that's one thing that I believe is a major trend for because internet never forgets. And if all that people find are the wrong, misleading stories, misleading information, and they are not finding the correct ones, then we would have contributed to the collapse of the industry ultimately, and then it will be the collapse of the economy at large. So media is one of the major trend So having a camera, having lighting, having a studio must be part of your business. As a developer, as a realtor, your phone is already an asset. It's already an equipment you can start with. You don't need to wait till you own a camera. Your laptop is already one of such, and all of that. So the more money you can invest in that space, media, just to ensure that you are putting out, providing clarity. I mean, providing clarity, providing information, it's extremely crucial in this age and time, because there's a lot of, and of course, it also distinguish you. It will also help you to build a brand, and all of those things. And then it will distinguish you in the market. So it's critical for positioning, for market positioning. It's critical also for correcting wrong impressions, right? You will notice that all the people you ever voted for, they were sold to you. They were sold to you, leveraging the power of media. Traditional media, the newspapers, TV, television stations, radio stations were the major tools that were used. Today, now that is being complemented with the social media. And one major reasons why I personally love social media is largely because of the value and the fact that it's been democratized. So gone are the days when you need massive budgets to be visible, right? Today, you can become visible from the comfort of your office, from the comfort of your home, right? And then with a little ad spend, you can target your ideal audience and all of that. So those are key things that I personally believe are the main trends. Everything else, from building technology to style of homes, today now, homes are becoming functional much more than just space. People are not particular about space as much as they are more concerned about functionality, right? Because of the generation, the younger generation, younger population that we have, that are not planning to have children, and those who are planning to have children are planning to have just a fewer kids, and then it's an upwardly mobile. Well, I wouldn't say upwardly mobile this time, but it's generally um, a mobile generation. You know, they work remotely, so they can switch states, switch location from time to time. So that sense of mobility is also coming into space where people need some type of rental arrangement that accommodates monthly payments and not just annual rent, so that I can stay here for 3 months and then move to another place because my job has changed, my location has changed, or my circumstances has changed. All of those things exist in most other parts of the world. That's why I said it's already commonplace. If I say them, we already know them. So these are common and regular trends. You know, so quite a lot that exists that we can leverage. We talked about short-term rentals. That's what Vibo, Airbnb, and there's others, platforms, even local platforms, that are also creating a type of those platforms in Nigeria, in Africa, that we can also leverage, that have local content, that have local appeal, right? You may want to also explore all of that. You can buy a house, and then you don't live in Nigeria. You work abroad, you live abroad, but you visit Nigeria maybe once a year or twice a year. Each time you visit, it's cheaper and safer to live in your house. But when you are not there, that same house can be turned into cash flow producing assets by way of short-term rentals. And so anytime you're going to be visiting, you lock down, you just lock the calendar for the period of time you'll be there, and then you can still have your home to yourself. Beautiful thing about such an arrangement is that if you choose to sell that property, you'll be selling it at a premium, right? You'll be selling at a premium, and your main customers that you can sell to, if you choose to sell, will be the people who are coming to use it. It's just to put it there and say, okay, this house is available for sale. You don't need to do site inspection. The customers that have been visiting are yours, are the people who are doing site inspection for. And then what is better way to sell if you really want to sell? So those are key things that you may want to consider, and those are some of the trends. There's a lot that government needs to do in terms of in terms of recognizing the trend. It's unfortunate, but government is not necessarily, particularly governments in Africa, are not trendsetters. They follow trend. They wait for things and catch up with them. What government should do, which I strongly recommend, is to collaborate, is to fund and sponsor some of these trends so that they'll be at the heart of it. Let me be honest with you. If you check out most developed nations, all the technologies that have been democratized, that have been commercialized, were originally built for government efficiencies. Are you following me? So, because they funded research, they funded all those type of things. That is what our governments should really be thinking toward. I think I should rest my case here. If we have more questions, we can take it.